Hi guys, this is Mr. Recaps. In this video, I'm going to explain a movie called Under the Shadow, released in the year 2016. I'm warning you of spoilers, but stay tuned. Former medical student Shida was banned from continuing her education in war-torn, post-revolutionary Tehran in the 1980s because of her connection with student leftist groups. She's persuading one of her professors that she wants to return to university because she doesn't want to ruin her future due to a single mistake. The professor advised her that based on her past, she had no chance of returning to the institution. The professor advised her to find a new goal and start a new life. She throws out her medical textbooks, but saves a book on medical physiology that her mother gave her before she died. Her husband, Iraj, who is a doctor, returns home and inquires as to what she's doing, to which she responds that she's giving these books to someone or discarding them. He told her that things may have improved after the war, but she remained skeptical. They're debating this when the light goes out and a danger alarm sounds. He quickly summons their daughter Dorsa and informs her that they must go downstairs. Dorsa picked up her doll and the three of them went down the stairs where there were already several people. A little boy from the Ibrahimi family who lives next door and whose parents were killed in an attack was also there. During a shelling, he murmurs something into Dorsa's ear and provides her with an amulet to fend off evil spirits. Iraj promises Dorsa in the morning that her doll Kimia will protect her since Dorsa heard someone walking into the home the night before. Dorsa's mother informed her that she, like her mother, was indeed a terrible sleeper. Shida sees Iraj's annual drafted notification concerning his future employment station. Shida became enraged after reading his draft and stormed out of the room and began exercising. Iraj returned home and informed Shida that their new posting would be in Elam, which was in the midst of the fighting. Iraj persuaded her to go to his parents since the report of Iran using the missiles is genuine and other people are also leaving the city. She chose to stay in the city with her daughter rather than bother his parents. It was time for Iraj to go. He assured his daughter that her mother would take her to her grandparents' home and also handed Shida some money. Dorsa wakes Shida in the middle of the night to inform her that her bed is wet. Shida asked her to get out of bed and go to the restroom, but Dorsa was scared of going alone. In the morning, Dorsa asks her mother if now her dad is not here, she wants to sleep next to her. Shida told her that now she's a big girl and also that she shouldn't wet her bed. She inquired of Dorsa who she was scared of and why she was having trouble sleeping. Dorsa tells her that she's scared of jinn. Her mother told her that they aren't real, to which she responded that they are real and we can't see them. Shida inquired about who had informed her of this. Dorsa gives the name of Mehdi, the Ibrahimi family, and says that he gave Dorsa a mystical cat fur that would protect her from jinn, but she misplaced it. Shida comforts her by telling her that jinn are only fairy tales meant to frighten children. Shida went to Ibrahimi's wife and told her that Mehdi was scaring Dorsa by telling her fake stories. To her shock, Mrs. Ibrahimi tells her that her daughter is mistaken because Mehdi is mute since he had lost his parents. Shida is playing with her daughter when Iraj calls and asks her to take Dorsa to his parents, but she's unwilling to leave the house because of some rumors. Shida tries to listen to the news on her radio after the phone call, but when Dorsa comes over and wants to play with her, she stops her once, but she doesn't. She screamed at her and threw her doll away furiously. Dorsa becomes terrified and hides under the bed with her doll. Shida calls her after a while and asks whether she's still upset, then gives her an apple. They heard a missile hit at that moment and began running downstairs when Dorsa realized her doll was missing. She returned and a strike sound happened, causing a tremor in the building. Shida regained her breath and returned to her flat where she discovered Dorsa laying on the floor. Shida attempts to rouse her, but she remains silent. After a while, she opens her eyes and informs Shida that jinns are real, frightening, and she has seen them. Suddenly, a lady enters their flat and asks Shida to come see her father, who's dying because she's a doctor. Shida went there but was unable to rescue him and thinks that if she had been a genuine doctor, she might have been able to save him. The machine arrived and removed the rocket from the building, allowing the residents to return to their apartments. Shida was inspecting the cracks in her roof when Dorsa informed her that Kimia had gone missing and that she had been taken. Dorsa became unwell with a fever, so Shida advised her to rest and told her that she would find her doll. Shida was asleep at night when she had a nightmare and was woken up by a knock on the door. She stepped outside and saw Dorsa attempting to get upstairs to retrieve her doll. Sheeta checks her fever in the morning and asks her to eat her food and promises her that she'll put a DVD on the TV for her to watch all day. After some time, Sheeta was looking for her workout DVD but couldn't find it, so she inquired with Dorsa about it. The lady, whose father had died, presents flowers to Sheeta in appreciation for her assistance and informs her that they're returning to their hometown. The lady inquires about Dorsa. She says that she said she had seen someone and that the thing was scary. Sheeta interrupts and informs the lady that she's just a child, to which she answers that her father was all right when the missile hit, but when she went to get him a glass of water, he was not. She returned because she heard her father scream and saw him afraid, as well as his eyes locked on something behind her that she couldn't see. Sheeta assured her that she understands how it feels to lose someone very close and that it was the missile that caused the heart attack to her father. Sheeta feels, while sleeping, that she misses her husband. She's startled awake by his voice lying by her side, informing her that he has returned for her. She wasn't able to believe it when suddenly that person came over her. She fell down with her blanket and ran out of the room to check on that strange thing. She asked her neighbors to check if there was something in her bedroom. They assured her that she must have had a really bad dream. Sheeta discovered a broken fitness video DVD in the dumpster when cooking dinner in the afternoon. She walked into her TV area to ask Dorsa about it, but she wasn't there. So she went upstairs and found her beating on a door for Kimia. Sheeta went to Mrs. Abrahimi, where she inquired with Sheeta about Dorsa's health. Mrs. Abrahimi tells Sheeta that jinns may possess humans and steal a victim's favorite personal item. Sheeta borrows a book about jinns from a neighbor and is studying late at night when she hears a noise. She went near the window and saw her neighbors leaving the building as they were going to Paris due to the war. She came back to her bed to sleep and again had the nightmare. The next day, she takes Dorsa to the doctor, who informs her that there's no illness inside and asks if everything is okay. Sheeta couldn't figure out why her fever wouldn't go away. Sheeta met Mehdi on the road alone on her way back home and offered him a ride. Dorsa was sleeping in the back seat of the car when Mehdi inquired about her toy. She was taken back when she listened to him speak. Mrs. Abrahimi's family was leaving the building as they arrived. Sheeta began gathering her belongings to leave the building, but Dorsa refused to leave without Kimia because she would be scared and would never get better without Kimia. If she loves her, Dorsa asks her if she'll help her find Kimia. Sheeta agrees and says they'll depart as soon as they find the doll. Sheeta started searching every corner of her apartment when the siren rang, so they went downstairs along with Dorsa. She was sleeping at the time when she noticed a strange man standing at the door. When she got up and went outside, she noticed that the figure had faded from the crack in their roof. She was attempting to figure out what was going on when she overheard Dorsa chatting to a woman. She takes her up and rushes out of the building despite the fact that she's not dressed in an Islamic costume. She was led by some odd guys to a location where a man was yelling at her because these are the values for which people are willing to fight and die as martyrs to protect. She returned to her flat in the morning and used tape to repair the roof crack. Sheeta attempts to explain why, but the phone line is cut as someone knocks on the door. She went upstairs after opening the door, and what she saw was a strange lady. Sheeta began knocking on the door of her flat, calling out to Dorsa as it closed, to which she responds by asking Dorsa whether she saw any women. Dorsa informs her that she sees a woman who comes around when Sheeta is not around. Dorsa asks Sheeta to open the drawer in which she has locked her book, given to her by her mother. When she opened the drawer, she saw a broken Kimia there, but her book was missing. Dorsa alleged that she did this to her, but Sheeta told her that the one you were talking about did this. Sheeta fixed the doll with the tape. However, just as they're ready to depart, another air raid siren sounds. Dorsa is asked to put on her coat, and they head down to the shelter. When she hears Dorsa's voice beckoning her from her flat, she panics, believing the Dorsa she left with was a ghost, and rushes back home to find the real one. Dorsa emerges from under their bed, but she quickly realizes it's a ghost. She flees to the shelter where she meets the real Dorsa. The two are attacked by the Chador, but they manage to flee to their car. Sheeta is taking Dorsa to the home of Araj's parents. Kimia's detached head, on the other hand, was left behind, while Sheeta's medical textbook is still in the building. And the movie has come to an end. If you've got a passion for movies and everything about them, Mr. Recaps is your destination. Subscribe for more videos like this, hit the notification bell icon, and leave a like to support the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, stay safe. Peace.